Attention. Prepare for battle mech departure. Warning. Hangar doors opening. Stand clear.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Oh, hello friend. Good bit of news coming out recently with MechWarrior 5 Clans has been announced. Next year, playing as... Name is John C. Set during the invasion of the Inner Sphere. In the meantime, we have a new expansion for MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries. Dragon's Gambit takes place during the War of 3039. Still 10 years before the clan invasion. There's not too much happening between then unless they want to go in depth on Operation Flush, as every expansion for MechWarrior 5 so far is always rumored to be the last. I wouldn't be surprised if we got one or two more. As for Dragon's Gambit, we must ask, who is the dragon and what is their gambit? Well, in oversimplified terms,
let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
The fourth era of succession wars, the great houses fight to become the dominant hegemony. Space Germany and the Eternal Anglos decide to start an epic bromance. I'm about to come. They go on world tour with everyone's favorite pastime, war crime, against Capellans. The old ultra-violence with a touch of Ludwig van. They doubly had it coming for trying to replace the Eternal Anglo Prince with an imposter, on top of the high crime of being Capellan. After thoroughly war criming, what does a bromance that controls half of the known galaxy that just murked one quarter of it do? They do the same thing to the other quarter. It's Space Japan's turn. But will the second verse be a repeat of the first? This begins the war of 3039. Space Japan knows that this situation is beyond bad, and no amount of new Berserk chapters will get them out of this one. Then enters you, my little pierogi, you peak specimen. You're Space Japan's top guy. Along with Space Arabia are sent to conduct raiding offensives behind enemy lines. You are the Dragon's Gambit. To access the campaign, we go to career mode. Will give us the option to pick Dragon's Gambit 3038. We get the option to start fresh or load a prior save with all our goodies. Even though I didn't seem challenging as some of the other campaigns, I would not start this with a new game if you're playing on a non-custom difficulty or are new to the game. Expansion claims to have 15 missions. I didn't count, but it felt like a lot less than that. There's a new hidden Easter egg on each level that have max level gear. They are singled out by having a big red beacon instead of the standard green. I didn't find them all, but one I was very impressed with had 6 MP lasers and double heat sinks. Helped me max out my Hero Atlas to instantly kill most mechs from about medium and under with an MP broadside. Nothing changes with the standard mission scenario setup. Until the last one, they felt much easier. Fewer enemies, more allies to soak up damage. Though there's still a very claustrophobic feeling on some of the maps, filled with just too much stuff for the AI to get stuck on. One mission was wondering why I was taking so much damage, only to see that half my lance was stuck on a hill ways back. Now they were shooting and all, but the hill was one they could have easily walked down, so don't expect any further AI improvements over the light drizzling we received from Rise of Rasselhog. Overall, can make about 50 mil from the campaign, plus 2 unique pilots. Their skills are capped around 43-48, and that's no better than the first guy you get in the Kestra Lancer campaign. The real fun for Draconis Combine fans is the Otomo variant. Out of the 6, I got 5 as rewards, and the dragon I found in a mech market. These have unique custom paint jobs. I like the gold and the tealish green. Not so much the extra bit of trim on some of these. These variants are very unique and take some of the mechs into unconventional fittings. Even though stock, they're kitted out nicely with rank 3 and 4 parts and double heat sinks. They generally perform great as stock. I was impressed with the catapult, a mostly missile boat, trading that in for 2 PPCs and 2 AC2s. It's a very good at constant long-range damage. Second place, the Mauler. Now, machine guns are generally weak, but in mass they do insane damage. I experimented with a build similar to this on the Hero Firestarter. 6 MGs with massive amounts of ammo absolutely clap. It feels like the mechwarrior version of Heavy Arms Custom. I felt the Hatamo Chi was the most underwhelming. There are a variety of quality of life improvements here. First is difficulty adjustments. Access this, we go to Settings, selecting Custom from a list of modifiers. Most of these I agree with. The first 2, however, are exceedingly haram. Unlimited ammo and heat dissipation could be useful in experimentation, but this seems counterintuitive to the content of these games are collecting, building your own custom mechs, making trade-offs to make something you're proud of. And on the other hand, balance is non-existent here and assault mechs win the day, so Everything else I agree with tuning down slightly. This game has the worst implementation of artillery I've ever seen in a game. Dancing around red puddles every 5 seconds to crawl to the other side of the map for 15 minutes is one of the most unfun tasks in gaming history, right next to an escort mission. Tuning the AI's ability to shoot off your pecker after peeking over a rock from 2,000 meters away? Sure. Eliminating the excessive fees and ludicrous repair times. Let's go, champ. Now, there's supposed to be a crossplay expansion share. I haven't tested this as I don't associate with console peasants. I can only estimate that when sharing an invite code, the crossplay is enabled and temporary access to said content is gained through a cloud-like system, as long as the invitee is in the host session. Though from what I've seen, this could be a problem as the multiplayer traditionally is not the most stable. We get a new mech, the Longbow. This is the assault tonnage variant of a missile boat. Problem is, currently an archer can do that job better, and a stalker can do that plus be an effective multi-role. There are 2 variants out of the 5 that aren't garbage. The hero variant that packs 4 medium lasers, meaning it can actually defend itself or be a poor man's stalker. Finding the hero variant is a needle in a haystack. The 8C version is close to usable and far easier to find in the mech market, but even that comes off as a poor man's stalker 4N. Luckily, there's a planned buff patch, soon to change the chest launchers to large on all except the hero variant, so it can perform its role fully. Side note, patch actually came out on October 5th, so yay. Instant action. Neat little custom battle maker can select any mech in a game, including the hero variants. Customize them to your heart's content. Build your own mission type or replay some of the existing missions from campaigns. You can even select the time of day. Kinda neat, opens up the replayability if you want to experiment with mech builds freely. Conclusion. Much like my last video on the Rise of Rasselhog, It's just packing the game with another short campaign you can complete in an afternoon. There's nothing to write home about unless you really, really like Draconis Combine. No changes to the game's AI or added weapons. The hidden weapon caches are nice. Getting max level gear instead of the useless garbage we usually find in caches is rather nice. The notable additions are custom difficulty options to reduce the ridiculous fees and repair times, to Yeetus Deletus, the cancerous artillery strike, so we don't have to breakdance around red circles most of a mission. The instant action, I think the most content potential out of any of the recent expansions, happens to be part of the free update, is amusing, but shows the devs yet again are trying to address the concerns players have. Is Dragon's Gambit worth $15? No, you can get Valheim, Dave the Diver, or even a game I'm looking forward to, Quasimorph, for roughly around that much, and get 30 plus hours easy. But I like big, broadsiding mech, so I'm a bit of a sucker here. It's hard to say how many more expansions will be made in regards to clans dropping in 2024. I am concerned how much more that will be fleshed out than the average campaign here, as that won't be sandboxy like the mercenary games in the franchise. The Kestrel Lancer campaign was decent. I can only assume it will be closer to that than the lower budget of these later expansions. And one last note, you get to talk to the man, the myth, the legend. If you know, you know.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again.